Hey there everybody, Brian here. In this video I want to show you this car here. This is 2016. This is Audi A4. It's a 150 horsepower, manual 6-speed, and it's an S-Line model. The car actually belongs, well, it still belongs to my dad. So he bought it when it was about 3 months old. So he's had it since 2016 and he's been the only driver of the car really since then. So the car is now for sale because he needs to get something that's a little bit higher off the ground. Anyway, I do work in a garage based in Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare, but I am selling this car for my dad in this case. So in the video, I'll just run through the features on the outside and the inside of the car and go for a quick drive in the car. You know, it's 2016 car, so that makes it, what, 8 years old. It's not perfect, but in my opinion, it's probably one of the better ones around. It's been really, really well looked after. This is exactly how he traded it in. Not traded it in, sorry. This is exactly how he's given it to me to sell it. So I haven't even cleaned it or anything like that, and this is how he normally keeps the car. When he was buying the car, not that he's into S-Line, he's in the 70s, but I kind of made sure that he went S-Line for the reason being, I don't think they're really a whole lot more uncomfortable than an SE or anything like that in terms of suspension, but the wheels and the lighting are much nicer. So these have the nice dynamic lighting on them. So things like the reverse lights are a nice LED. Now maybe that's standard on all Audis, I'm not sure, but this kind of shape with the LED taillight, I don't think that's standard on them all. I think that's only an S-Line specific thing. And then this dynamic lighting, I think it's S-Line specific as well, and it's quite a fast kind of dynamic movement of the light, so I think it looks really, really nice. From what I seem to have learned when I was looking at the time, I think 2 pipes meant you were getting a 190 horsepower, 1 pipe meant you were getting a 150 horsepower, and like we're saying then, this is a manual version. In terms of the boot, my dad's pretty fussy, as am I, but this boot is in super nice condition. So anything that ever went into it, the car, you know, it just, stuff would go in, it got taken out, and then it pretty much got hoovered straight away afterwards. So it's really, really had an easy life. So the boot, I'd go as far as saying I don't think there's any blemishes in there at all. In terms of the rear seating on the car, so obviously myself and my sister are adults, so we wouldn't ever really have been, I don't think I've ever sat in the back of this car. He would have had grandkids in there and stuff like that, but he used to get bits of plastic to leave it hanging there, so when kids had their legs along there, they wouldn't scratch the plastic. It does have climate control in through the rear, and I'd go as far as saying door cards with kind of, you know, electric windows and child locks and all that kind of stuff. I don't see any blemishes in there at all. This S-Line interior seems to be like a half leather with a sort of coarse kind of material in through there, but I just think anyone that comes to look at that interior, they'd be quite happy in the rear. Looking down the side of the car then, it is, everything seems to be very much colour coded, but I presume that's like that in most A4s anyway. There is a chrome pack around the windows, but doesn't stand out too much on a silver car. There's an S-Line badge up through here, and these look like then the S-Line wheels. Actually, what size are they? So they are a 245 40/18 actually. Like we're saying, at the time he probably would have considered going for something like an SE, just because it might be slightly more comfortable. I'm not sure, I presume the suspensions and the wheel profiles are a little bit different on these S-Lines, but just the S-Line is a much nicer looking car in my opinion. On the front of the car then, again, I stand to be corrected, I'm not expert on Audi, but these S-Lines seem to have much nicer kind of headlights, so a long kind of strip for an LED. Remember, this is back in 2016 as well. There seems to be like an extra sort of, not a fog light, but an extra weather light in through there, and then it has LED headlamps, and then down through there it just has that. So I think the SEs had like a straighter grille section along here, whereas these S-Lines had more of a kind of feature over there. The grille's really nice, big and chrome, but again, not sure. Some of this stuff may be standard on all Audi A4s, I'm not sure, but I just thought the front end was very, very nice looking on the S-Line. My father always had to go for silver. Actually, the car he's going to go for this time is not silver, because he just didn't have a choice, but if he could have had, he would have gone silver again. He's traditional, but I think silver in cars, it doesn't really age. It always looks kind of classy and upmarket. So there's a good bit of maintenance on the car through Sheehy Motors over in Naas, and then he had a cam belt done with a used car specialist around 66 miles, which was 2022, and servicing was done with that same independent garage afterwards. So I think anyway, the best thing to do is for somebody to come drive it, see what you think. In terms of the interior, so there's about 82 just a little over 82,000 miles on it now. Usual controls for electrics and mirrors, all that's in nice condition through there. Small little bit of wear, I'd say, for somebody, well, it's not for somebody, where my dad probably rests his elbow, but I don't think it would stop anyone. The bolster along here is in good condition. This is exactly how it was traded into us, so, sorry, traded in. That is a force of habit. This is exactly how he's kept the car, always in this kind of condition, never not hoovered and cleaned and all that stuff. Nice kind of S-line embossing, same as the rear. You have that kind of coarse material with half leather. Lumbar support for lower back, obviously height adjustable seat. The steering wheel then has S-line embroidered into it. Steering wheel is in nice condition. The car throughout, to be fair, I suppose I see a lot of cars all day every day, and if the car was traded into me in this kind of condition, I always kind of get that feeling that, okay, somebody has gone to the effort of trying to look after this car while they've owned it. So just everything is super clean. It'd be just really easy for a valuer to sort it out. USB, moving armrest, storage, radio, has navigation, climate control, heated seats, controls in through there for whatever you call that thing in Audi. I don't know what they call it. It's an eye emitter. So where's the main menu? Right back into menu, and then you twist and turn everything through there to use it, which is settings on the car, radio, sound, media, telephone, navigation, all that kind of stuff. This is still here, probably never used. I presume back in the day that was an ashtray. Never see them in cars anymore. Drinks holders, fine. And then steering wheel controls, lighting controls over through there. Anyway, we'll go for a quick drive. So the car drives nice, steering is good and brakes are good, and you know, everything feels nice in the car. It is, again, like what I was saying, I'm not expert on Audis, but I think he's looked after the car quite nicely. So most maintenance was with Sheehy's, I think, for the first few years of servicing, and then the cam belt was done around 62,000 miles back in 2022, and the next service, about 82,000 miles in the car now, and the next service is going to be due at, it is going to be due at about 85,000 miles, so about another 3,000 miles, or this summer, I think around July of this year. So if someone's buying the car, obviously will reflect that in the price, because you need to make that adjustment. So the last few cars that he had, they ended up selling down the country, down into Cork and Kerry, and people took them. We reflected that it needed the servicing done in the price, and they went to the local mechanic and they went from there. But it drives good. He really didn't want to get rid of this car. He really liked it. He had an A4 before that, but he really liked this one. But he's gone to a stage where he just needs something that's higher off the ground. I think it's quite a nice example. I'm totally biased. Like, I've watched this car for the last, 7 or 8 years in our home house, and how it's been looked after well. So, and I'm a bit of a sucker for that stuff. Like, it's got a transparent kind of ownership past, because he's had it since 2016. So I'm probably a little bit biased that way, because I suppose I see cars like that coming through the garage for work, and they're not usually that common. So anyway, big sales pitch obviously, but I'm selling this on behalf of my dad, so it's not going through the garage. This is for sale on behalf of my dad. If you want to know anything else, call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. The last few of them that he had, we normally just sold it privately and went and bought another car again, and that's exactly what's happening this time as well. So, but never had anyone came up that was disappointed with the condition of one of them. But what I'd say is, I kind of like it to go to a nice, or you know, I'd like it to go somewhere, or he'd like to go somewhere, both of us would, somewhere where someone's going, yeah, I was looking for a nice tidy one, and you know, it fits my budget and all that kind of stuff as well. So anyway, give it a shout if you want to know more. Brian's my name. Thanks for watching.